to another edition of Chaffee Break. It's just like a coffee break, only significantly more satisfying. My name as always is Maxwell, and today's video is from the user Rapipapi. That's Rapipapi, and he's driving the WZ-131 on a standard battle on the Arctic region. Now, you may remember Rapipapi as being the guy who drove the E100 in the gold competition after the new year, and in fact he was the winner of the gold competition, getting a massive 11 kills in the E100 there, showing some real skill driving a heavy tank. But on the complete flip side of that, he's now driving a light tank and going to try his hand at scouting, so we're going to see how he gets on. Obviously the WZ-131 is the tier 7 light tank for the Chinese. And if I remember rightly, this thing has a decent cannon, a decent rate of fire, and has some good speed and good maneuverability, but it definitely plays more like a medium strictly than a light tank, although not having the hit points or the armor that a medium tank does. It should still be used in a more assault type role rather than a spotter. So just sees this Ferdinand here trying to retreat and gets a good hit on that side armor. So the Ferdinand, just trying to get the hell out of there, realised he was pushed up too far and had already been spotted out, so just tried to get the hell out of there before he gets himself taken out. The other thing is, Rappy's almost certainly been spotted out now on this mountain, which is why he's making these little manoeuvres just to try and keep out of the way of any direct artillery fire that's going to come in and try and take him out. Because it's definitely in the best interests of the artillery to take out the light tanks as quickly as possible. First and foremost because they are normally quite soft targets, so 1 or 2 shots can normally finish them off from the higher tiers. Even 1 shot can finish off these light tanks without too much trouble, as you see the artillery already come in there. And the second reason is it's the light tanks which are almost always the ones that get in on the artillery and the ones that cause all the problems. So the artillery is much more likely to die from a light tank than any other tank. So just trying to get some shots on this T-34-1 here, but unfortunately the gun depression of the WZ not that great, so not finding it easy to get his gun down and on target. So he's just repositioned slightly and able to get a good hit on the front of that T-34-1 there. In fact, that looks like the rear armor. Not sure what the guy's doing, probably just trying to maneuver himself around and take some cover there. Unfortunately, probably not 100% sure where he's getting hit from, so not really able to use effective use of cover there and getting himself taken out. So unfortunately, it looks like their base has actually been rushed there, and you can see that already lost 2 artillery pieces and only have the 1 left, but actually there's a heavy tank in on that now, so probably about to lose all of their artillery while the enemy still has all 3 of their artillery pieces. So this battle not going particularly well so far. Rappy was just doubling back to the base there, but noticed that the medium tank was able to mop up that heavy tank. But not before their artillery was taken out. So they are now artilleryless, but spots out a Black Prince. Unfortunately, the Black Prince just doesn't have the armor penetration to be... Oh, well, actually, his second shot does have the armor penetration. The first one just unfortunately hit him right in the side of the turret, and these things with the sloping on the turret armor there's very little chance of being able to get through that armor unless you shoot them right in the very top of that little hatch. But sees the side armor of this Ferdinand, should have the damage, and able to take him out. Ferdinand not taking up a good enough position, blocking himself from damage on this right-hand side there, not going far enough behind that rock, and just leaving himself exposed. So hopefully this Black Prince will have changed targets, but no, it looks like he's still pointing directly at this area here, which is a good thing. If you can hold the attention of that guy, then your tank destroyers and heavy tanks can move in from the north there and catch him unawares. IS-3 there getting a fantastic shot, taking out his track and almost all of his hit points, and then decides to make a beeline for the base. So going to have to really get back there and see if he can do something about this, because they are going to get their base capped. Actually losing quite significantly, well, not significantly, but losing at the moment 10-6. So they are 4 tanks down. Just even that up a little bit though. As you see, they have... Who is that up on the hill? That is an IS-8. Camping on that A5 square at the top there. So anybody who moves in on the base will have to open themselves up to the firepower of that IS-8. But unfortunately, they do have a light tank scouting in that area, so if he's able to spot out that IS-8, then the enemy artillery should be able to pick him off no problem. Just going to speed it up a little bit until he gets in on the base. So it looks like they are actually pushing in with some significant armour here. Spots out a Carnarvon, able to take out his tracks, and the guy decides to spin his turret all the way around and find out where that shot came from. So just going to hit him again and then drop back so that the guy isn't able to get a shot on him, because he's only got about 280 hit points left, so any hits on him will be dangerous. So just going to rock backwards and forwards, trying to lure the guy into taking a shot and missing, or hitting the side of the turret and bouncing and not doing any damage, because even though it's a light tank and has absolutely brilliant shot, even though it's a light tank and has light tank armor, the sloping on that turret will make it very, very difficult to penetrate. So just evened up the score now at 10 to 10. It looks like they have now finished off everybody in the base. Was that the IS-8 coming in? It was indeed the IS-8 coming in and mopping up while the WZ here held their attention. But the IS-8 took some serious punishment for his trouble, down to 91 hit points. But it looks like they have an IS-6 in the centre there versus a Black Prince and an IS, and they have a T-25 too, so those guys should be able to mop up those heavy tanks no problem whatsoever. So it's just going to be up to Rapi now to get in on their base and try and take out the artillery. The only problem is, without having artillery of his own, he's pretty much on his own in this endeavour. Now normally what you can do is you can just spot out the artillery and then run circles around them without really having to concentrate on trying to get a hit on them. As long as you can spot them out, normally your artillery will go straight for them and try and take them out. But without the support of his own artillery, he's going to have to play this one really careful. So just trying to keep the body of one artillery piece between himself and the rest of the artillery, and then just trying to duke them out, trying to lure them into changing aiming position and then driving somewhere else. Unfortunately not being able to get a shot on that GW Panther, but if you look, the GW Panther hasn't quite got the traverse to be able to keep up with this guy, so just going to be able to run all the way around him. Nothing he can do about it. He's just really going to have to sit there and wait for his death. As you can see, the AMX has come down the hill, probably going to try and go for a ram. Unfortunately, totally missed, as this guy definitely has the speed and agility to be able to duke out of that. So I'm just going to pull up alongside him, and should be an easy case of taking him out. Unfortunately, getting a 0 damage critical there, hitting that giant gun on the top of the artillery piece. And there we go, finished him off, although it looks like the Black Prince has broken free of the guys he was fighting against in the north there. In fact, the IS has as well. In fact, it looks like somehow, when I said that, oh, they should have that mopped up no problem, it looked like they did in fact not have it mopped up at all, and the Black Prince and IS somehow won that fight and managed to get away from the enemy, well, from the Allies, and they're now moving in on the base to try and take out this WZ, who was taking out their artillery, unfortunately just a little bit too late, not able to save any of their artillery pieces, and it's just the two of them left against, well, actually the IS-8's got pretty much no hit points. This WZ-131 is one hit away from death, and then they have a full hit point IS-6. So I was just going to say, because based on the hit point levels, they could probably pull this one out of the bag, but no, probably not going to be able to, since they have a full hit point IS-6, which is the tier 8 premium tank for the Russians. So just going to give the run around to this IS. Unfortunately, the Black Prince was able to take out the engine. Not really willing to use his repair kit for the engine, so just gonna suck it up. Oh no, did actually in fact use his repair kit, so but was still able to take out the IS now. Just gonna try and hold the attention of the Black Prince. Unfortunately, poked himself out a little bit too far and got taken out by the Black Prince there. But it looks like the IS-8 is just going to come in there, have a little bit of a ram, which was pretty dangerous, considering he only had a little bit of hit points, but the IS-6 able to come in and just finish the job. So absolutely amazing replay there from Rapipapi, picking himself up 7 kills and playing a scout tank to the fullest of its abilities. So thanks very much to him for sending that clip in. Thank you to you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time.